Pira and Mifawa Agadu from the 4th grade class. Maxi S. Kpakio, aka Max, at the age of just 2, Max was affected by the polio disease, which left him with a disability due to his right leg being affected. Born in Fuller, he started early childhood education at his late father's school, Kpakio Elementary School. Later, he migrated to Monrovia and attended the Montana Junior High School and graduated from Will High School in Ometi Street in 1994. Due to his interest in journalism, Mark was in the 12th grade and enrolled himself at Monrovia Vocational Training Institute and trained in both print and electronic media. 1997, Mark worked for the Pepper Bread News paper, which was owned and operated by the National Patriotic Party (NPP). In 2001, Mark was awarded a scholarship by the National Patriotic Party and left Liberia for Cuba to read law. Unfortunately, after months in Cuba at the University of Matanzas and due to lack of support from NPP, Mike and his colleagues demanded to leave Cuba and return to Liberia. In late 2001, the same year of Erafa, Mike and his colleagues were put on the flight to Liberia, transiting to London, Ghana, and then to Liberia. While the rest of the story about how the UK now became a second home to Liberia for Mark. He is currently collecting materials for his memorial, which the complete story will be told. But as for Mark, he is always telling people that he is still in transit. In 2005, 3 or 4 years in total, Mark being granted leave to remain in the United Kingdom. Mark took student loans and enrolled himself at Swansea University, Wales, United Kingdom, reading politics and international relations, BA joint honor degree. 3 years later, in 2008, Mike gained his first higher education degree. After a few years working to earn money, in 2015, Mark went back to university and enrolled himself at the University of Wales, Trinity, St. David, where he earned himself a postgraduate certificate in education in 2017. Between 2002 and 2017, Mark gained 7 certificates upon the completion of trainings, including communities development training, media relations training, environmental management training, human rights work training, asylum seeker and refugee management training, mentorship training, etc. Work for the following institution over the year. Mark as training administrator have worked and volunteered for several institutions, but particularly the public sectors. Among them are as follows: the Home Office of the United Kingdom, the City and County of Swansea, etc. In 2011, upon his return to Liberia, founded Labira connect in the quest of beginning to give back to his motherland. Mike Big Labira between 2021 and 2014, 2012, Mike along with few of the organization volunteers took a visit to Liberia at least twice to work on a project increasing awareness, raising on the prevention of sexually transmitted disease. One of the recent Mike funded the charity also from December 2012. Mr. Maxi Kpakio with his Giving Back project has been identified with the needed by Turkey donation to Liberia and distributing them. Items always on his list are from newborn baby clothes to adult clothes, from food items to general asset items. The wider community, including cleaners, community-based welfare organizations, etc., have been benefiting from his giving project. During the Ebola outbreak in Liberia, Mark was already affected by what he was seeing on television. Even though he was scared by what he was seeing happening to his country, Mr. Kpakio remained steadfast and focused. Mark then decided to extend his already appeal for his usual attempts to access his center for supporting the fight against the Ebola virus in Liberia. In less than 2 weeks, Maxi witnessed the generosity of the people of Swansea. By then, Maxi witnessed the generosity of the people of Swansea by them about donating assorted items to the cause. Mr. Kpakio was able to collect about 1.5 tons of assorted items and sent to Liberia through the office of Ambassador Joseph Newman Baga, then Vice President. That is a point, and over the years contributed to several organizations published in Swansea. He has enrolled 2 textbooks for Liberia to be used for students from 10 to the 6th grade class, and one spoken word book. The following are the contributions so far for the society. Police officer, awards of recognition due to his community engagement and the act of giving back to the community through volunteering. Just 3 years as a newcomer in the city of Swansea, Mr. Kpakio was honored by the city and county of Swansea and received the Achievers Awards and certificate in 2003. In 2020, the young people of Paynesville City, Masarado County, honored the leadership of the intellectual class of Paynesville without fear and favor. Mr. Kpakio received a certificate of honor as graduation, and he was self-executive of honor and was also conferred an ambassador title for fighting against drug abuse in values. His motivation that keeps him moving. When I think of one kind act that I did to someone today or someone did to me today, however small it is, I know I am moving forward. The power to change my life lies in my own mind. I choose to let go of self-defeating attitudes and replace them with our positive thoughts. Now we call on our guest speaker, Mr. Kpakio.
Wow. Let me start by first of all thanking the Almighty God for making this day a day that I can come and interact with you people today. Before I address the platform, I would like for us to please stand out for a moment of silence. Please stand with me for just a few seconds. Thank you very much, and you may have your seat. The proprietor and the principal and all of the executive of the school, and the outgoing leadership, a president and his entourage, the incoming president and your entourage. I'll invite a guest here, fellow students. I will call you fellow student because myself I'm still a student. Boys and girls, members of the Folk Estate here, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Principal, if you're here, or the proprietor of the school and teachers, distinguishedly from this fourth grader, I am convinced that you are well prepared in our children to face the future. Thank you very much. And I want to appreciate the young lady who read my small platform or my small CD. I refer to it as being small because even my own self, I'm trying to write my own book so that I can continue to tell my story. Today we're here to give responsibility to young leaders and leaders that will bring about transformation in the school and taking it from the school to carry out to communities and also extending it to the rest of Liberia. And I want to thank you very much for taking the courage, first of all, for lifting your hands up and telling yourself, yes, I can. And indeed, yes, you have done it. I want to appreciate you very much. Today, I am going to speak to you, probably briefly, if I may. The problem with today's leaders is that they failed to prepare themselves to lead. The problem with today's leaders is that they failed to prepare themselves to lead. Leadership is not something to take as a joke. A successful leader I'm talking to you leaders, I want you to listen, is a courageous leader. They are bold in their thinking and determined in their actions, able to take risk in business, in your activities as a leader, and think creatively about the future. A successful leader is a humble person, a humble leader. Your leadership you are taking on today, I don't want you to overlook this office or anybody outside there to say that because of your age and because you're small or so, that your leadership shouldn't be respected. And also, I want to ask you as well, not to take this office to be small. No, you are not small. And I want you to lead with compassion as well. There's no leadership that is too small. With no leadership is not small to take with. No leadership is small. You could be a class president. You could be a school president. You could be a leader for a community group, etc. The job given must not be taken for fun. Do not. When you're a class president, you have been chosen by your friends to lead. Today, all of you here that are sitting here, very soon you will be taken off. And you will be pledging your allegiance to the school and to your office. One thing I want you to remember is that the authority that you are going to get today is not a small job as well. And I don't want you to take it for fun as well. You must possess at least 5 leadership skills, or 7 if you want to be an effective leader. And that's why I want to remind you of the topic for today. The problem with today's leaders is that they failed to prepare themselves to lead. When you do not possess the leadership skills needed for you to function, you will not be a good leader. You will be a failed leader. And I'm going to drain you through some of the leadership skills that I will ask you that you take on board with you. To be a good leader, you must have the ability to inspire. You must have the ability to inspire to be a good leader. You cannot take the presidency of things. Vice presidency or class president or so for joke. You should be somebody that will inspire another person. By your action, the way you do things, and the way you react to people. You must be somebody that will be able to inspire somebody. That's one leadership skill I want you to take with you. Communication effectively. Every leader, you must communicate effectively. And that's why we have oral communication and written communication. There is no leader who will function well and perform well and be a good leader if they do not communicate effectively. When you fail to communicate effectively, that's orally and written, your leadership will fail. You must be able to communicate with your colleagues. You must be able to make sure that you represent your colleagues, your friends to the administration. But there will be a time that not all of the students will be called to a meeting. They will say, well, we have this problem, but the only way we can address this problem is to have at least the student council leadership with us. You are going to represent the kids that are sitting over there in the entire school. When you come from that meeting, your leadership skills or your communication skills will be put at test. Are you going to be that leader that after all of the discussions you have with the administration, you come back and you don't pass the information on? Or are you going to be that effective communication leader that will indeed bring back any other information that you gather from the meeting? You must possess a good and excellent communication skills. You must be able to dedicate well. That means you can't do all of the job, Madam President. You can't do all of it. The reason you have the cabinets around you and your lieutenants around you is because you have to share the job. You can't go everywhere. You might be invited by the Student Unification Party at the University of Liberia. And maybe at the same time you are invited to go to Cottington and the student want to engage with you as well. And those two appointments perhaps will fall on the same day. And you want to go and make your presence there. Those two places. Madam President, what you need to do there is for your immediate lieutenant. I want you to go and represent me in the school over there. Go and represent us. And dedicate. When the children in elementary level or so come to you and say, or maybe through their representative here, and say, Madam, we got some problem that we want to address for you and the rest of the leadership. Be willing to give them your attention. Listen and take it. Because the problem they're bringing to you, they should have gone to the principal, they should have gone to the vice principal. But the fact now that we get leadership, the student council leadership, these representatives will not leave direct now and go to anybody at the top. But rather they are going to use your office. And what do you do there? Because the authority and power has been invested in them, all of them, they are also representing other students. They have to be given job to do. And that job will also, they can come from the other student, we'll tell them we want this in our classroom, and they will come to you and then you will take care of it further. But what I want you as a leader to do, of course all of you are leaders, but you the head, is to give them attention. A leader that doesn't give their lieutenants attention, that leader is a bad leader. And that leader is bound to fail. As a leader, you must be decisive. Leader must make decisive decisions. Don't be afraid of taking that decision. You get your lieutenants here. Maybe some kind of a problem has erupted and got to your attention. And this problem here, you yourself, you have sat down, you try to analyze analytically, you think about it and think, and you're struggling as to if you alone can handle this problem. What you need to do in that case is call your lieutenants, seek their advice. I'm aware, maybe I'm sure you have people that are not elected but are advisors outside of the arrangement. You can seek advice also. And the principal has given you power. In the morning, every student who will enter this gate must be properly dressed. And they have given you the mantle of authority, you and your colleagues. That mantle of authority they have given you could be a test they are giving you to see your ability, to see whether you have good leadership skills, whether you can make a decisive action as well. And then here you are to get there, you're standing there well dressed as well, and the student is coming in, maybe the student from your class or so, or maybe he's your best friend, but the student is improperly dressed. But then you have previously stopped at least 2 students. You told them you need to go home and change because you are not properly dressed. You have taken a decisive action. They try to beg you, please forgive us, tomorrow we will be okay. No, I said, you got to go home and change. If you want to come back, you can come back. You got to be decisive in your action. If that other student is your friend and they have also broken the rule, you must be decisive on them as well. In fact, in my case, they will be the first person I will set an example. So as leaders, all of you here, when you take your decision and you know that you're right, and that decision is right, stand on it. Be decisive. Don't be afraid. As a leader, one of the reasons that we are facing problem today with our leaders is that they don't think critically. Some of you in 10, 11, 12, we talk about critical thinking. I know definitely you know about it already. You must sit down and think critically. Without critical thinking, you cannot function your office well. Because a problem will come and you decide that you don't want to put on the critical thinking. Once you don't put on that critical thinking and you take an urgent decision, you will land yourself in trouble. If it's something that you have to think it over, tell them, give me some time, I will think it over and get back to you. But you must be able to be that individual who will have critical thinking ability. As a leader as well, you must be an individual who can motivate. We are having Huge problem today, even from the national level in governance. We don't have leaders who are visionaries. We don't have leaders who can actually motivate us. And that is why we continue to see talents. Whenever I come down from London, whether I'm here for 2-3 weeks or so, I go around and I see talents wasting here. Because there's nobody there to motivate them. Nobody there to motivate you. Who tell you say we can get a ballet dancer from this class? Who tell you say we can get a gymnast from this class here to represent Nigeria in the Olympics? You can run and you can run fast. And you stay, you have that energy. But who do you have to really, really motivate you? And right now, when a 12-year-old daughter, she's a ballet dancer and also trying to go into acting now. And when she comes from training, she comes in a video and she tries to perform what